All right, guys. So once again, we have BET founder Rob Johnson calling for $14 trillion in reparations. Okay. Now he's called for this before, right? But he's renewed calls for $14 trillion in reparations as he thinks that what the Biden administration is doing right now is just a distraction from that check, right? That check that he says that Black America deserves. Okay. And I just find it so ironic how a black billionaire who has made money off of black people, who become a billionaire off of black people, spends more time asking the government for a handout instead of actually informing his people and educating his people on how to make money like he did, right? How to be a successful businessman. That might actually help grow the wealth of Black America more than asking the government for a check that we will never, ever receive. So let's read a little bit more here, okay, about what's going on. America's first Black billionaire, Robert Johnson, is pushing hard for the government to pay $14 trillion in reparations and wants his check just like everyone else. Quote, reparations will require the entire country to admit that the result of slavery has been 200 years of systemic racism. The Black entertainment television BT founder told Vice, quote, and for that reason, Black folks have been denied 13 to 15 trillion of wealth, and therefore, as a country right now, must atone by paying Black people of all stripes, the rich ones, the poor ones, and the middle ones, out of our pocket, Johnson told the outlet. Wait. So you got to pay all Black people, right? Including the Black people who came here after slavery, who never experienced slavery, right? Including the descendants of families of Black slave owners, major Black slave owners that lived in states like South Carolina. Okay. Do those people get a check too, considering that they actually benefited from slavery, or do they have to pay out? Because if the Black slave owners don't have to pay out, then it's not reparations. It's just a transfer of wealth. Okay. If you want a transfer of wealth, just say you want to transfer of wealth. Don't call it reparations. Because reparations is supposed to be somebody who wronged somebody else paying them back for that wronging. Okay. If descendants of Black slave owners are not allowed to pay, and Black people who never experienced slavery are getting checks, then that's not reparations. That's not reparations. You just want a handout. Okay. I mean, I'm just being real. Because this is what he's saying. Black people of all stripes, okay, should get, a check, right? These people need to be more specific about what the hell they're talking about. Johnson, who owns several homes and heads an asset management firm, insists that means money for himself and other rich and famous Black Americans, including Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James. In fact, he suggests they are more deserving because they have a proven track record of putting their money to work, saying that reparations should be an investment program rather than a charity. Okay, why don't you do that for the community yourself, right? All you guys got so much money. Why is it that y'all aren't investing your own money? And I'm not saying they're not investing it in some ways, but I can't necessarily say that BET has been had a positive impact per se on the culture of the Black community, or that BET have promoted financial literacy, right? There's no financial literacy shows on BET as far as I'm concerned. I could be wrong. I don't watch BET, but I'm just saying I'm not seeing where BET is really trying to help Black people make the most of their money that they have right now. These are things that that company could be doing or could have done in the past to help, but I haven't seen that. All I've seen is BET promoting bad money management and bond depreciating assets, right? We're going to talk a little bit more about that when we talk about Kodak Black. Quote, if you're a successful Black business, the idea is you've had enough, Johnson said, of those who dismiss the payouts. But no one ever asked if a white-owned business is too rich to benefit from investing in a football stadium or receiving other benefits like preferential tax treatment or liquidity injections from the Federal Reserve, he told Vice. That's an issue with all businesses, right? That's an issue with big corporate America in general. It's not a Black or white business thing, right? You're making an argument about the government giving handouts to big businesses. And I think that's an argument that I can have, but that doesn't have to be a racial argument. Johnson, who is pushing to get his proposal in front of legislators, believes that recent programs like critical race theory in schools and debt relief for black farmers are being used to deflect from the wealth transfer he said he is seeking. Quote, that's what's happening to reparations. It's been cut up into small pieces of things that look and feel like we want to end systemic racism. We want to end police brutality and shootings and provide financing to black small business owners, Johnson tells Vice News. And then people say, quote, well, we don't need reparations because when you put all these things together, it's reparations, he said. Quote, it's not just one big bill or asking this country to stand up and apologize, and you're not asking people to pay out of their paychecks, he added, of the current approach, which he dismissed as placebo paternalism. Yeah, I actually do agree with the idea that what's currently happening right now is placebo paternalism. But why do you think that you can get away with asking people to pay out $14 trillion to black people? And here's the thing. Black people are also gonna have to pay that as well, right? That money is just not gonna come from everybody in this country that's not black. It's gonna come out of the taxpayers' pockets, which means black people gonna be paying it too, right? I mean, for a businessman, I mean, it's almost like this guy doesn't understand how things work, right? Everybody's going to have to pay. People, when they talk about reparations and they talk about the government paying up, you do understand that where does the government get their money from, right? Well, they kind of make up some of it. They just kind of print it nowadays. But at the same time, it's borrowed money, right? They're borrowing money from the American people. So when the government borrows $13-14 trillion to pay reparations to a certain group of people, they're borrowing it from those same people that they're paying reparations to. So, I mean, again, like, to me, I just don't understand this reparations argument. It just doesn't make sense. It makes sense from a moral standpoint, and I would tell anybody, listen, from a moral standpoint, yes, black America should receive reparations, right? But from a practical standpoint, I have not heard one good argument from a practicality standpoint, okay? If this was the Reconstruction era, I would be one of those people that's out there saying reparations right now, if it was Reconstruction. And I think most people would agree with that, right? I think you find it hard to find people that disagree with this, okay? But we're, 150 years removed from slavery? Come on. Like, it's 2021, bro. Everybody has opportunity if you know how to take advantage of your resources. We have access to infinite knowledge. It's about you putting in the work to realize what is available and then going after it. And anybody can be successful doing that. Quote, reparations had two components. The first was atonement and the other was monetary, he told Vice. With no doubt whatsoever, it was supposed to come from from the government representing the people of the country. It was a reimbursement or recompensance, if you will, for the harm. All right. So yeah, he's still asking for reparations as, again, some of our black millionaires and role models like Kodak Black is throwing $100,000 into the ocean as a part of some beef with another rapper. Take a look. Yeah. So, we're out here asking for reparations, begging the government to give us money when, we have black billionaires whom, in my opinion, are not doing enough with their money to help. And you also got black millionaire rappers that literally are just throwing money into the ocean. Like, that 100K could not have been used to, I don't know, give somebody in the community, somebody in the black community, some seed money to start their own business, right? He could have used that to invest in a business. He could have used that, I don't know, as a charity. He could have gave it to charity. He could have gave it to a church. He could have gave it to whatever. But this man is just throwing it in the ocean. And who knows? I mean, it could have been fake money. It probably was. But I'm just saying, the point is that you have a culture of being stupid with money and doing things with money that don't allow for appreciation of wealth, but yet people want the government to pay a lump sum of money when ultimately at the end of the day, because the culture is not in a place where we would know what to do with that money, okay, because we have role models like Kodak Black, whom has basically set an example of bond depreciating assets, blowing money, throwing money away, you think that the money is not just going to go right back to where it came from? You think that that money is actually really going to help? Now, I'm not saying some people won't take that money and start their own businesses. I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure it would help some people. But I would argue that overall, it's probably not going to do much, because you have to have a culture in which you understand the value of money, the time value of money. Okay, where people are not going to be taking the money and going and buying Gucci bags and cars and spending it on women and jewelry and all these depreciating assets that don't do anything. Again, there's so much money out here, right? The government gave out so much money last year with, PPP loans and the EIDL loan. I would argue that, those loans, those programs mainly benefited big businesses, but if you applied, you could get it, right? If you applied, you most likely could get it. Okay, there's money out here. You just have to go and get it. You have to apply yourself and take your reparations, right? Because nobody's going to give you reparations. You got to take it, right? You got to take it. And that's my problem with, a lot of these people. They spend more time begging the government to give them something rather than taking the bull by the horns and saying, you know what? No, let's get our black millionaires and black billionaires in line and take responsibility for helping the black community, for investing in the black community, for teaching the black community financial literacy. So therefore, we don't have to depend on the government to pay us anything. Okay? Even if the money is old, which I agree with. I agree with that argument. I agree with it from a moral standpoint. I just don't think it's practical, and I don't think it's politically expedient. I don't think it will ever happen. So I think it's a waste of time asking for it. Put your money and resources in things that are actually going to help, right? Teach people how to grow their money and stop promoting these people that promote these lifestyles that ultimately is going to lead to people never building any type of wealth or having anything. So at the end of the day, man, like I said, that's my opinion on that. The reparations conversation will continue regardless, because some people just are not satisfied with the resources and the things that are available today in 2021. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.